Mutta hyvää huomenta ja mä oon lähdössä näyttää teille sotamuseota. Se on toisen maailmansodan kamaa täynnä, joka on kerätty täältä Valensian vuorilta. Täällä oli kiivat taistelut amerikkalaisten ja japanilaisten välillä. Ja täällä on edelleen räjähtämättömiä pommeja viidakossa. Niin tämä mies on yksin kerännyt niitä, tai itekseen kerännyt niitä metallipaljastimella siellä viidakossa. Ja siellä on kylän tappaja pommia ja mielenkiintoista natsikamaa. Mutta näette kohta, ja se on tämmönen yksityinen pikku museo. Siinä on Village Killer pommi. Mä oon käynyt täällä pari kertaa useammin, niin se on kerännyt nämä kaikki tältä Valensian vuodelta. Oh, hello, mister.
Good morning.
It's okay I film?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've been here 2 times before.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you collect them by yourself?
Yes.
Very cool. Mostly Japanese stuff? Or?
American and Japanese, because you cannot make war with only American.
Ah, yeah, sure.
There is no enemy.
Good point, sir.
It will not be a war.
This is the largest, I guess.
The little boy atomic bomb was exactly 10,000 pounds.
Ah,
That is just 1,000 pounds.
okay. So 10 times bigger. Yeah.
This did not explode because it hit on the ground.
Ah, okay.
The airplanes was just flying on 3 top level, 60 feet on the air, so it did not stabilize to hit.
Ah,
the
it went
detonator.
sideways.
It hit at the side.
Ah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
There is the detonator here. This is placed right there.
All right.
And they had removed the safety cap. So when it is dropped, it must be perpendicular to the ground or sideways
Yeah.
when it is on a dive bomb. This was a dud because the inertia of falling, when it hits the ground, it follows. Strikes.
Ah, yeah.
This is the firing pin,
All right.
and that's the primer.
Cool. You think there's a lot of left in the jungle? Many bombs?
I found 8 of this. I only brought home 3
Ah,
because
okay. So too heavy.
really that very
you need,
heavy.
You need Carabao, you know?
Because it only lacks 46 kilograms to make it 1/2 ton. It is 454 kilograms. And this one, basically the same. But the crew forgot to remove the safety bolt.
Ah, all right. Now it's
When
rust.
it hit the ground, it broke. And
You were not
it is
afraid?
still stuck up there. The
Explosive?
firing pin.
A firing pin, yeah. But how about the explosive inside? Oh,
And that's the primer.
yeah.
So when they have removed that bolt, the inertia of hitting the ground just say boom.
Ay.
But the crew forgot to remove the safety bolt.
Lucky for somebody. This is Japanese bomb or American?
American.
Ah.
The Big Mama bomb, 1,000 pounds, and these are the type of bombs that defeated the Japanese.
Yeah.
The atomic bomb only stopped them from fighting. Because the thinking of the Japanese is all Japanese people must die together with the emperor.
Yeah, I see that.
So, to stop them from fighting, the atomic bomb was dropped. So they cannot kill more Americans.
I'm not sure if that was, of course, a horrible bomb, but it stopped the war against Japanese, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Which one is better? Keep on fighting or they killed more Japs? My viewers, they are from Finland.
You're from Finland.
Yeah.
There was a guy from Finland, and he said they just go into the forest because there was a lot of fighting of the Russians and the Germans in Finland.
Ah, yeah.
And they are restoring motorcycles, trucks, the battle tanks for war props and making movies.
Yeah. I'm sure there's still a lot of stuff in Finland to be collected.
Yes. This part is this. This is shrapnel of an exploded bomb.
Yeah.
And this one here is this.
Yeah. The tail. Guiding tail.
Yes. That's the explosion.
Yeah.
This type.
Yeah. Very hot.
Very hot. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
This is the 60 mm high explosive shell. The 81 millimeter high explosive shell. And those that I made as balusters, there are the light shells.
Yeah.
It has a very thin skin that it is already. That is a German military police helmet.
Yeah.
It has a bulge at the center. The Wehrmacht's helmets does not have a bulge at the center. That is for the uniformed policemen,
Yeah.
German military police. Because a lot of the German military police are called as the Gestapo. And Gestapo does not wear any uniform. They are the secret military police.
Yeah.
So only a very few wears the uniform.
Very interesting stuff. And these are your collections. You bought them all over the world, like
They're
you
not
found them.
all over the world.
Oh.
An American who got married, who was a veteran of the Vietnam War. His father fought in Germany in the Second World War. His grandfather fought in Germany in the First World War. So this is the helmet of his grandfather.
Wow.
And that is the helmet that his father brought home
Found somewhere.
from Germany.
Yeah.
This is the water purification unit.
Okay.
You can read the instructions there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I didn't know they had ones.
And one hose goes to the canteen, the other hose goes to the water source.
Ah.
They pump
I
for the water.
That's good.
1 minute, one canteen.
That after the typhoon here.
Yes, they filter it here.
Yeah.
After filtering it here, they put the antibacteria.
Yeah. I'm just surprised this is no longer here. People don't have this, you know. It's very
But
useful.
They can replace the filter.
Hand soap of hand grenades. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. These are
From the Second World War.
valuable stuff for collectors.
Yes.
Wow.
You see, it is embossed, no paint. The present Coke has the paint.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. A lot of Coke stuff you have.
Yes. I did not get their bottles yet. They are not yet finished drinking their Coke. These are my soldiers. Without any gun.
One group. Like, I think in Finland we have a one under sergeant and 8 people under him, about, or 10. Are these from Valencia also?
Yes.
Cool.
I was the one carrying this. I was the only one who found this. And together with this machine gun was a ammunition that is 1 ton in weight, 1,000 kilos.
So it's still there, ammunition.
I brought it home.
Ah, okay. How about the belt? Was it inside when you found it, or it was?
It was still loaded, and the Japanese just left their equipment because they do not have any food to eat.
Ah, yeah.
They get weakened, so they left behind everything.
So this is Japanese.
This is Japanese.
And this?
That is also Japanese for the airplane.
Airplane, yeah.
That is the Nakajima fuel tank. That is the Mitsubishi Zero fighter fuel tank.
Ah.
I did not get it from a crash site. I got it where on the last spot where the Japanese stopped. They were using it as drinking water container.
Okay, makes sense. It's more important than war sometimes.
Yes.
Staying
The
alive.
airplanes cannot fly.
Yeah. But how come you have these samurai statues?
This is representing one dead Japanese soldier each. So it has no body in it, only the armor.
Oh, okay.
That is their general, another general.
Yeah. But you bought this later, or you found this?
It was a gift given to me by Japanese families whose one of their members died here as a soldier.
All right.
And do you want to see a Japanese remain?
Yeah.
Yes, I have turned over already to Japan 32 of them.
Wow.
This is one of them.
Yeah, I have to respect
The head is broken because it was blasted by grenades and the artillery.
But how come this is not donated to Japan? This remains.
I gave to Japan in 3 batches. The first batch was on October 24, 1986 with 17 Japanese remains. The second batch was in 1995 with 7. And the last was in 1999 with 8. I still have 7 of them here. Because by the year 2000, the Japanese knew that they were being fooled by the Filipinos.
Yeah.
That some Filipinos
Yeah.
just go into the cemetery and dig the bones of Filipino and are selling them as Japanese soldiers' remains. They just
All
put
right.
Japanese items on it, and they know that they were being fooled.
All right. Nowadays they can test DNA, of course.
So,
yeah.
by the year 2000, they stopped gathering the remains.
Oh.
This is
Wow,
another
that is
soldier.
unbelievable. I had no idea you had this here. Unbelievable. Are you sure it's a one soldier or many soldiers? Like
one box, one soldier.
Okay.
Other box, one soldier.
Yeah.
I still have 7 of them here.
Well.
And this is the dog tag of the Japanese. So their uniforms are already decayed, so I am just getting their buttons.
Yeah. And these were, I mean, of course they were army Japanese, not the sailors here. So yeah.
The Japanese were burning their navy uniforms because it is suicide to wear the white back uniform in the jungle. You can be seen immediately.
Yeah.
So this is the leftover. I got these buttons from this. This is what was left behind of the burning cloth.
Ah. How many Japanese there were in Dumaguete?
About 1,300.
Ah, okay.
And only 600 surrendered.
Oh, but that's a big number surrendering because usually they just die.
The Japanese, the Americans thought that they killed 700.
Ah, okay. Wow. Okay.
For the Nakajima Airplane. This is the Nakajima.
Yeah.
The fuel tank was inside the wings. And
Yeah.
that is the Mitsubishi Zero Fighter.
Yeah. Okay, so the fuel tanks there. Right.
This was the main armament for the Nakajima. You can see this. All are in double action. I removed the explosives inside. You remove the tip. Reverse. On reverse.
This? It's Japanese goes other way around.
Yes, because the rifling is going clockwise. So you have to counter clockwise.
Oh, right.
Bullets. Because if you fire, both are in clockwise, it will just disintegrate in midair.
Ah, yeah, because it's rolling out.
And this is the exploded shot of that. When it hit you, it explodes like that.
Yeah, very destructive.
Here, all are exploded.
Okay.
These are the pictures. These are the remains that I gave to the Japanese. The first 17 sets. This is the skull.
Yeah,
And
that's important, of course, skulls.
those in light blue are the veterans before we ignited the funeral fire.
Are you buried them here?
They brought it home to Japan because the Japanese belief is that if the remains of the Japanese dead are left behind, their spirits will be restless. And they have another batch. And we have an actual burning that we put flat galvanized iron sheets underneath before we burn, because so that after the cremation the ashes will not mix with the soil. That's
Ah, yes,
Yes.
of course. So they can collect the ashes and bring home.
and the Japanese Arisaka rifles.
Those are very large, long to carry.
mostly for snipers. And this is a bayonet.
Still in good condition.
Yes. You hold the blade.
Like take it out or?
Yes.
Ah. It is sharp. Have you sharpened it?
No.
It is very sharp.
But this is not always attached into the barrel. You can remove it by pushing this and pulling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a short, of course. Yeah.
So it goes to the other side like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they also have the cover for the rifles. When they are on patrol during a rainy day,
Yeah.
when they slide and the soil gets inside, when they fire, the barrel breaks. This is 1905, this is 1939. Cover. This rifle is 1939, this rifle is 1939. But this is how they shoot at aircraft. They let it stand, and that is the lead. When the nose of the plane hits this area, they fire. And when the airplane is at the center being hit by the bullet, when it comes from the left, they fire when the nose hits here, and when it is at the center being hit by the bullet.
Yeah.
That's the lead.
Nice design. Yeah.
This is the fake.
Fake.
It is very light and it does not have the temperature. It is not cold.
Yeah.
This is the cultured pearl, very round.
Yeah. It's
It
heavy.
is cold and it is heavy.
Yeah.
And these are the natural pearls. You can see it is not the same size.
Yeah. It's uneven a little bit. Yeah.
Uneven, because it was not helped by man. The ones being helped by man, they always turn the shell, so it is all rounded.
Yeah. Would you show again with the light, because I forgot to film this. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the most expensive, the black pearl. You see,
Black Pearl.
it is not the same size.
Yeah, like the pirate movie, Black Pearl. Yeah. My camera wasn't on when you showed this. This is very interesting, yeah. This is a pearl.
That is a pearl. This is a 5.4 kilogram pearl. 5.4
Before the Visaya Island was even island.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are parts of this island that was underwater. The island was still already here.
I mean Necros
But there
Island,
were
yeah.
islands.
Yeah.
There were parts that was still underwater.
Because this is a rock.
That is a rock.
It doesn't
Cannot
illuminate.
penetrate. The pearl.
And then another one is pearl. Yeah. Yeah, that is very interesting, yeah.
Thank you.
Very hot today. Yeah. Also Pepsi products you have.
Who is the endorser of Coca-Cola every Christmas?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. But
From Finland.
before, he was with Pepsi.
He was. Before?
That's the bottle he is holding. It's basically the same.
Unbelievable. I had no knowledge of this.
I even
Coca-Cola stole
have
him.
glass for drinking cups for the Pepsi.
Wow. I like Pepsi more actually. A little bit. It's kind of the same.
You know why I like the Pepsi?
Yeah.
Ever since the start of the production of Pepsi, theirs was also always more Pepsi than Coca-Cola in the bottles.
Ah, yeah.
Bigger bottles
All right. These are
than the Coke.
237 milliliters. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that's his uniform during the Second World War.
He was part of American Army of Filipino.
Part of the American Army, but he was an intelligence officer gathering information and telling the Americans.
Very cool family history. Okay.
The skulls, they are just plastic,
Yeah.
but the helmets, they are all original. You can see the star.
From Japan side.
There's another star. There's another star, but
Yeah.
it is already very rusted. The ones I wrote here, 1945. It is the mark here. GP and FCO.
Oh, okay.
1943 US. Because it is not nice to see with only the bottom shown.
Yeah.
So I have to let it
Yeah,
stand.
you write them. Yeah. Well, that's a brand.
These
You're
are
right.
the American cuts. I was sleeping on it since I was a boy.
Ah. Like a bed?
It's a bed.
Oh, yeah.
This is from Russia. Look at that. Read it. How it is. Abpopa.
Yeah, but Afro.
That is the Aurora.
Ah,
The
all right.
very famous Bolshevik ship of 1917.
Ah, right.
And then Russian gas mask. A lot of this hanging in the barbed wire in Chernobyl.
Hopefully we don't see that again in Europe.
And
soon.
AK-47. Bayonet. You can see it here. Come up here.
Yeah.
That is
Ah, it's
made
Russian.
in Russia,
Yeah.
United Soviet Socialist Republic.
It's yeah, okay, made in USSR. Yeah.
And this is binocular M3 6 times 50. That is NAS Kelvinator Corporation, 1943.
Ah, yeah.
SMR is Her Majesty's Regiment.
All right. So England. Yeah. Yeah. All
And
right.
that is a sterilizer.
Sterilizer.
Yes. So
For
before
wounds.
you open it, you have to turn to the holes so the steam dissipates.
So you clean the wound, the
Yes.
materials.
And
yeah.
British Mills fragmentation grenades.
All right.
The Webley First World War pistol from the British. The Japanese were the ones bringing it here.
Ah, all right.
They got it from Singapore.
Ah. Okay, that gun has some history. Yeah.
And look at this. Read that line. Yes.
prepared under the direction of the Commanding General Army Air Forces by the Aeronautical Charge Service, Washington, D.C., April 1944.
That is 6 months before MacArthur landed in Leyte.
Ah,
And this is a self-map. The handkerchief map. The Americans call this as the handkerchief map.
this is for the...
This is the entry point from the Pacific waters. When the water from the Pacific goes inside the Philippines, in Surigao and San Bernardino Strait, we have a high tide. The sea rises. And when the moon is directly over Brazil, the waters from the Philippines goes out of this area. So
Yeah.
we also have the low tide. It is happening every day.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
we're right here.
I had no idea about that either. Thanks for the knowledge. And this one,
And you see the arrows. The arrows that you can see here
Yeah.
is where the current goes.
Yeah.
So if you're carried by the current, when you are near an island, you have to struggle a lot to go to the shore. Because if you're not going to the shore, a lot of sharks
Yeah.
are here.
And you have a
They are going
battleship.
to eat you. And this is reversible. That's the map of Palawan.
Ah, yeah, because it's so large. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Wow. You have any stuff from MacArthur?
MacArthur, any
Any like how his uniform looked like, or what belonged to him? Or
I do not have
yeah.
anything from MacArthur. I only have the several pieces of the 5 peso coin, the 70th
Yeah.
Leyte landing.
Oh. Late landing is when he lost.
I have
Yeah.
something from
Yeah.
here at the other side.
Yeah. Okay.
This is MacArthur.
Yeah.
This newspaper was issued on Friday, October 20, 1944. So it celebrated its birthday, October 20, 2021, 77th birthday. And this is the speech given by MacArthur. This is the voice of freedom, General MacArthur speaking. People of the Philippines, I have returned by the grace of Almighty God. Our forces stand again on Philippine soil. Soil consecrated in the blood of our two peoples. We have come dedicated and committed to the task of destroying every vestige of enemy control over your daily lives and of restoring upon foundation of indestructible strength the liberties of your people.
Yeah. Thank you.
And this is the 70th Leyte Gold Landing.
Oh.
That is, I have.
Oh yeah.
This one was issued on Tuesday, December 9, 1941. By December 9, 2021, it celebrated its 80th birthday. Because
Yeah.
Sunday, December 7, was Pearl Harbor. And that is December 9. But
That's after.
the international dateline lies beyond Hawaii.
Yeah.
So when you cross that line, that's another day. So the Japanese were attacking simultaneously Hawaii and the Philippines on the same day.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
This was the last battle here. The reds are the Japanese, while the black lines are the Americans. This is where the Japanese run, and I got most of the things here
Right.
in this area.
They also found American ships here in Cebu in the river
This
recently.
one are the Japanese. They went to the north because this area was secured by guerrilla forces. Because here in Liluan, this was the supply point where the submarines landed with arms and ammunition given to the guerrillas. So the Japanese did not venture here because it was already liberated by the guerrillas.
It's funny that submarines are now here, but now also whale sharks, same place.
They're going to...
Yeah. Can you show me the Filipino execution knife?
What?
Because I seen the Filipino sword before you showed me here a few years ago.
Yes.
Can you show me that?
The big one?
Yeah, like this.
This is a Filipino sword also. And this is real ivory. Nobody can copy this in plastics.
Yeah.
And it is embedded with the copper.
Why is copper?
Because when you are stabbed with this
Yeah.
and you do not die, at night when you retire,
Yeah.
you cannot sleep because of the very painful and throbbing sensation because of copper poisoning.
Okay.
They know that centuries ago.
Wow.
That's why copper or brass is the vampire killer.
Vampire killer. Yeah. But this is a stabbing knife.
This is for fighting, but this were used by the sultans.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
The common soldier cannot, the common warrior cannot afford the ivory.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you know why they made the waves?
Well, I'm guessing for cutting.
Yes,
Yeah.
because to cut you have to push and to pull.
And that
But
cuts.
this, the wave, you just push and it replicates that action. It penetrates.
Yeah. Thank you.
And this one here, no copper.
Yeah.
This is for the warrior.
Yeah.
But this is an executioner.
Ah.
If this is a European sword, you're holding it at 90 degrees. But this is Asian sword that is leaning towards you, 45 degrees.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's for
This is
more like stabbing, not for sideways motion.
Executioner.
Yeah.
You notice that there is no handguard
No.
because in fighting, they just look where the blow comes from and it stops right there. Cannot cut your fingers or your forearm.
Yeah.
This is an executioner. It is stuck into the hips of the executioner, and the condemned is told to kneel on the ground.
Yeah.
At the time that he is going to be executed, the executioner will approach
Yeah.
the condemned and then draws this and put the tip of this
Yeah.
here in the collarbone. In the
Right.
softest part in between the
Yeah.
collarbone. And due to the curved handle, just push this straight down, killing the man instantly by removing the
Well.
heart. That's why in bullfighting, they have to stab the bull here.
Yeah.
All of the all animals and the humans, all of their hearts are on the
Yeah.
left,
Yeah.
not on the right. There's nobody with the heart on the right.
Thanks. Ah.
That's the one.
Is that a Filipino?
It's a Filipino.
Okay.
But Lapu-Lapu was Sri Visayan.
This is Visayan or?
That is Sri Visayan. Sri Visayan was the first empire. And they were defeated by the Chola kings, the elephant kings from India.
Yeah.
And the next empire here in Asia, Southeast Asia, was the Majapahit Empire.
Which empire this is from?
The Sri Visaya Empire. So this area here in the Philippines is called as the Visayas.
Yeah.
Because Sri Vihaya. Vihaya, they changed it with S. Visayas.
Okay. Well, how come it's so big? Because executioning.
Because Lapu-Lapu was 7 foot tall.
Okay.
And Magellan was killed with, that's a replica of Lapu-Lapu's blade. He was killed. He was already hit with a poison arrow. And last year was the 500th year.
Yeah.
Magellan arrived here in the Philippines in 1521.
Yeah.
And 2021 was exactly 500 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard
And
it.
do you know who was the first man who circumnavigated the world?
I heard about his story actually. He was he Enrico? Enrique?
He was Enrique
Yeah.
de Molucca, from the Moluccas Island. But when Magellan landed here in the Philippines, he was the interpreter because
Yes.
he could not let them understand Spanish and Filipino.
Mm.
He was the interpreter. So when he reached the Philippines, he already had circumnavigated the world.
Yeah. The first evidence someone did it. Yeah.
He was a slave of Ferdinand Magellan.
But a higher class, you know.
He
Like,
was a slave.
yeah.
And he was caught in Java, in the Moluccas. And wherever Magellan go, he was with him.
Yeah.
Vasco da Gama, the one who continued the journey from the Celebes Sea until Spain,
Yeah.
only came aboard the ship in the Celebes Sea in Indonesia.
Oh, yeah.
So he is not the first man who
Yeah,
circumnavigated the world.
Yeah.
He just completed the circumnavigation of the ships.
Yes.
This is a leaflet dropped by the airplanes. So the Japanese can read this and surrender. This is in English, this is in Chinese, the rest is in Japanese. You can read the English.
Yeah. Yeah. The bearer of this pass is surrendering. He probably does not understand English, but he has been instructed to follow your signs. Treat him courteously and conduct him to headquarters by order of the commanding officer. Yeah.
Original.
Yeah.
And look at this. Moscow News. That is the fact on non-aggression between Russia and Germany. That's a Russian soldier, and that is Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
It was dated June 17, 1941. Thompson.
Ah.
He came from North Dakota. His World War II patches. He was from the army. He was a staff sergeant. A recipient of the American Campaign Medal. He was a combat infantryman and was wounded in battle. But
And you found him in the hill of
I found his dog tag.
Yeah.
But he was a casualty on May 4, 1945. And the burial. Plot N, row 7, grave 155, Manila American Cemetery, Manila, Philippines. His dog tags fell on the spot where he died. But they know everybody. He was a member of the American.
In the Bonifacio
Yeah.
the area. Yeah, I've been there.
And that is Ferry Stevens. Ferry Stevens died on April 28, 2003. But I have his dog tag. Because he was a paratrooper.
Yeah.
When he was about to jump to this island, he was hit on the leg. And most of his things fell to the ground.
And you found them?
I found them.
Did you return to him? Oh.
Yes. So he had lots of information about himself because he did not die in the Second World War. So this is all. You read that.
Yeah. More than 6 years after he and his brother returned from fighting in the Philippines, the thoughts of New York Mills resident Charles Stevens once again have turned to the South Pacific. And the title is Local Soldiers World War II Dog Tags Found in the Philippines. And you found them, yeah. More than 6 years after he and his brother returned from fighting in the Philippines, the thoughts of New York Mills resident Charles Stevens once again have turned to the South Pacific. Stevens, 96, learned earlier this month that dog tags belonging to his brother Ferries were found on the beach in the Filipino province of Oriental Negros. Ferry Stevens, 82, died in 2003, but for his older brother, the news stirred up many memories of what they experienced as soldiers during World War II. Stevens said he was in his late 20s when he joined the US Army in 1942. His brother also was in his 20s when he joined about a year later. Despite being in different units, Charles was an infantry mechanic, his brother a daredevil paratrooper. The two brothers found each other shortly thereafter. Ferris always confident they would meet up eventually, had brought a special treat from home. Okay. Well, I first film this and then I read it.
They want the dog tags to be returned to their family. But I said he hopes his daughter succeeds in arranging the return. But if not, it's not the end of the world. He came from Massachusetts. His World War II patches, he was private first class. He was from the army. And this was a recipient of the American Campaign Medal, the Bronze Star for bravery, combat infantryman, wounded in battle, and World War II Victory Medal.
Purple Heart.
He was missing in action. He was not a prisoner of war.
He got this probably later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Posthumous.
Yeah.
So he was a casualty on June 7, 1945. But the burial, tablets of the missing at Manila American Cemetery, Manila, Philippines. There is nobody there. It is only the name.
Yeah. All right.
They cannot find the body. Missing in action. And I have his dog tags.
So his body is somewhere here.
It's the flower of their state. He was from North Dakota, and that is him.
Young man.
He died at the age of 22.
I'm 36 now, so he's much younger than me. What is this letter then?
Patrick McKeon was the one assigned to locate all of the residents of Massachusetts who died in the Second World War.
All right.
So he was asking me, if I have him.
Ah, okay.
But he was replaced by the volunteer United States Marines. The
Yeah.
Marines was here.
Yeah.
So these are emails from Americans trying to locate him. And when the Marines was here, a relative of him came and was the one bringing the dental records.
Ah,
I have an American remain.
yeah.
But when we compared the dental records, it was not him. It did not match.
Do you know whose dental
It
record?
is still unidentified.
All right. Yeah. So many lost here.
Yes. These are records when he was still, they were searching for him. Statements. This affidavit came from 4 of his comrades on the day he died.
Ah,
It is the same story.
yeah.
You can tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What, he was important, or why they are looking for him so much?
Because on the day he died, on June 6, 1945,
Yeah.
they came beside the body to ascertain if he was really dead.
Mm.
He was already dead, and the 2 of his comrades that went beside his body, one of them was also wounded.
Ah, okay.
So the Americans were bombing that hill
Mm.
for 5 days before they took it from the Japanese. And when they were looking for his body, they cannot find him anymore.
It was here?
Maybe he was hit with a direct hit of an artillery shell,
All right.
or the Japanese buried him. The dog tags, I found it with the dead bodies, the remains of the Japanese. Maybe
Yeah.
he was the one that killed him.
Ah, and collecting the
And
memories.
collected his medal
Yeah.
and his nameplates.
Mm.
So this is the place where he died. The place where he died. That is, the coordinates is 2140. This is the highest peak here in Mount Talenis. 1942, and this is the coordinates here. He died here. And this is the leader of
All
the
right.
archaeologist who wants to help me. I am just going to bring them to the spot, and they will be the ones looking
All
for
right.
him. Volunteers.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So this is one of the volunteers. He was a United States Marine Corps. You can read it.
Yeah. Letter from the Japanese Minister of Health and Welfare in Tokyo. It's like Europe's freedom in East, something like that. Freiheitskampf. Freedom camp. Ah, this is a Nazi newspaper.
Nazi newspaper.
Yeah, so it says like Europe's freedom
You
camp
can still see
campaign in East.
the swastika
Ah, yeah, yeah.
and the eagle.
They call their war freedom campaign. Or something. Big propaganda, I think. Wow. No niin, tuli käytyä toisen maailmansodan museossa täällä Valensiassa. Ja tuolta se näyttää ulkoa näyttää tältä. Tässä bensa-aseman vieressä, että sä Valencia kaupungin ihan vieressä. Tämmönen totally. Vähän tämmönen piilotettu museo, mutta suosittelen kyllä käymään. Kiitos vielä teille kaikille tämän videon katselemisesta. Se on paljon normaalia pidempi, mutta sitäkin mielenkiintoisempi mun mielestä. Ja tulkaa käymään sitä ihmeessä, jos satutte olemaan paikan päällä. Tällainen pieni perheyritys, mitä se äijät se pyörittää ja toimii pelkästään lahjoitusten varassa. Ensi kertaa.